So Reese, Neil has said that you've had your best fall. Well, what is it? Just coming together for you? Do you feel like you've played better now than you have at any other point?
I feel like, going into the off season, after the season, I knew I had to improve on a lot of things, and I knew where I stood, and me and Coach Brown had one of those sit-down heart-to-hearts, and I knew I had to get better in several things, and so I attacked winter workouts with Coach Mike and his staff, and, the spring I got unlucky and pulled my hamstring, and then got to play in the spring game, but I think I have gotten a lot faster and a lot stronger, and I knew I had to do that in order to play, and I think just building and stacking those days and years and stuff have definitely helped.
You mentioned the spring injury. I mean, you may put that commitment to get better, and then all of a sudden that knocks you out for a while. How frustrating is that?
Oh, very. It was. It knocked me down. I was really frustrated at first, and I'm not one of those guys that's going to feel sorry for myself and lay down. So I went right back to work next day. Was getting treatment 2 or 3 times a day, doing everything I could to get back, and it was a day-by-day feel, and I just eased back into it and was fortunate enough to practice it last week and play in the spring game.
How are you taking care of your hamstring now?
I take care of it every day.
Do you?
Yes, sir.
That's something that's like
it's just in the maintenance. Yeah, both of them actually, but yeah, I've started that.
Have you had that before? Has that been an issue with you before with hamstring?
So in high school, I pulled that hamstring before actually, and then I hadn't had a problem with it here, and then I did it that in the spring, and then it's just been on a maintenance pretty much ever since then.
Have you had to alter the way you train, the way you work out to protect it? No?
When I did it, of course, I had to, watch out for it and go down a little bit of the intensity and stuff, but I've picked right back up to where I was.
So there's no restrictions?
No, sir.
Okay.
Hey, Reese, what prompted the sit down with Coach Brown?
I went in there just with a mindset, how can I be better, on the field, more importantly, and, he's going to tell me straight up just because, he's recruited me ever since I was sophomore in high school, and, we had one of those conversations where it was, Coach, I need to play more, and I'm playing a lot of special teams, but I want to play a lot more offense, and he told me what I had to do, and, it was straightforward, and Coach Mike was in there as well, and he told me what I'd do as well, and so I attacked it every day and, kept it in the back of my mind what I had to get done.
Was it all physical stuff, like getting faster and stronger, or was it more than that?
I'd say a little bit of it was, but also, learning the game and being a smarter player is always, a step that you can always improve. And but a big part of it was just playing fast and not overthinking things.
Did you know anything about Graham's offenses prior to him coming to WVU, and how do you think you fit in what he wants to do?
A little bit. I knew it was an air raid offense, and he would like to throw it a lot. I knew that. And, Coach Brown had pulled me aside and told me that he was going to hire Graham Harrell and told me a little bit about him. And I actually knew when he played at Texas Tech, I watched him growing up a little bit, and so that was good. And I feel like I fit in the offense very well. He likes to throw it and likes to go 4 wide, which is good for me.
Reese, same high school as Neil. I think even the same coach, right? Because he
yes,
came
sir.
back.
Yeah.
So is that odd? Because you have a longer relationship with him than a lot of others, and probably know a lot of people that know him.
Yeah, of course. So, like I said, I knew Coach Brown ever since. I actually knew him since my sophomore year of high school when he offered me at Troy, and we stayed in touch ever since. And then when he got the head coach here, he offered me as here as well. And I just respected him for always keeping in touch, and he kind of knew where I was coming from and what I'd been through from getting the same coach and playing in the same town in the same school.
Same position, similar background. I mean,
Yeah.
playing for a coach that's basically an older version of you
Yeah.
in a lot of ways.
Yeah, it was. It's kind of crazy because my dad, when I was a little kid, or maybe not even born yet, he'd always go to the high school games and watch Coach Brown play, and there was always one of them things where everybody knew who the ball was going to, but they couldn't stop him. So.
Do you have that same type of game yourself?
I'd like to think so. Yeah.
You were also very good in basketball, but gave that up
Yeah.
to come here. Was that hard? Because you could have probably set records that
Yeah.
wouldn't be touched.
So I actually played on the varsity at the end of my 8th grade year, and started ever since my freshman year of high school, and I love basketball. Before I wanted to play, football in college, I wanted to play basketball in college to start with. I wanted to be a basketball player, and I had some interest from schools and stuff, and I got to high school and played football and started liking it and received more interest for football. And, I had to sit down with my dad and stuff, and just based off my size, I feel like I had a better chance of playing football at a higher level. So that's kind of where it came in at.
There's a guy that's been around visiting this week or the next couple of weeks, Ryan Switzer.
Yeah.
You had a chance to pick his brain a little bit. I mean, I think
Yeah.
body type, the whole deal, some similarities there.
Oh yeah, Switz he's a great dude to start off with. I pick his brain every day. Just the littlest things. Like we were talking today about leverage and DBs and the one-on-one reps and stuff, and catching punts at the beginning of practice and stuff like that. But yeah, I kind of model my game after guys like that. Just because we're the same size and like speed-wise and stuff like that. But he's definitely got some good wiggle to him and can get open one-on-one and create space for himself, which is good for guys like us in the slot.
What about his advice on catching punts? I mean, he was one of the best to ever do it in college history.
100%. I mean, I don't know if he is the record holder in the college for punts, but he told me he had 7. Should have had 11. 4 got called back. But I mean, the dude was a menace back there on punt return, and just he says it's all about your eyes and seeing the punt come off the punter's foot and stuff like that. There's so many ways you can break it down that I had no idea about when he told me, and I was like, wow.
And I guess too, if you look your best punt returners, it's usually one cut and go.
Yeah, that's all it is make the first guy miss and get up vertical in the field. Yep. That's how I usually get touchdowns.
That drill you guys did at the end of practice today, catching punts with people throwing stuff at you.
Yeah.
And, difficult? I mean, how do you keep your concentration when there are towels in your face? And
It's just, I love moments like that. I mean, I live for competition and stuff like that. So when all eyes are on me, I mean, that's what I like to do, and that's why I came here to play a big school. But those coaches are just having fun and trying to make us earn it, and it was actually kind of funny because they were actually hitting the ball with those cones and stuff, and the ball was going their which way, but it was a good time.
I would imagine the towels and the cones hitting you is a little easier than a 200-pound safety.
Oh yeah, just a little bit.
Teammates pick you or Preston, like who was going to bobble a ball or drop a ball?
They did. Yeah, that's why they were split down the middle. Coach Brown had decided which I used to pick.
Like making a list of, wait a minute, this guy's going to Preston's side.
I don't really pay attention to it. I know who's got my back and who doesn't, but that's just all fun and games, and who you think's gonna win, I guess. So whoever got you trust in. I knew I was gonna catch him, and I knew he was gonna catch him too. So I was like, we can sit here all day. I was like, I ain't going nowhere.
new quarterbacks this year, your adjustment to those guys. What do you think of Nico, JT, the guys that are brand new?
Of course, Nico came in the spring. He was new, and I think he's adjusted well. I think he's came a long way since the spring. Of course, I didn't really get to catch much from him because of the injury in the spring. And then JT, when he first got on campus, I actually had come back on our, on our little break in May, and then, thrown and caught with him. So it's nice catching from a veteran like that as well. He's a very smart player and knows what he's doing and knows where to place the ball. So.
And you guys are kind of under the gun a little bit in terms of timing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you've had to speed it up in the summertime because you didn't have him in the spring.
Yeah.
And you've got a game coming up on September 1st. Have you had that? Is there urgency there to get that timing where it needs to be?
So like I said, ever since he got here, at the end of May, we've been throwing every other day, if not every day. Even in the summer before we were doing OTAs and stuff like that, even on Saturdays we were throwing. So we were trying to get as much timing in with him as we could just to get the, like I said, timing down right and, get what we have to do to get done.
Of course, that's one part of it. Now you got a defense and the whole deal.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like there's obviously still some room to go, but do you feel like it's coming around a little bit with all?
Oh yeah, 100%. I feel like he makes really good decisions under pressure. Like I said, you can tell he's a veteran back there, and you can feel it. Makes good calls, and like I said, puts the ball where it needs to be.
what we've seen, he seems like too like he's pretty good at feeling where the blitz is coming from, and either making the right read or whatever. Is that what you see?
Yeah, sometimes I don't really pay attention to the box because I'm out a little bit. But yeah, when I watch film, and stuff like that, you can tell that he's.
But he's got to communicate to you though if you're the hot guy, right?
Yeah, of course he does. So I mean, if we got I don't know, if we got an option route or something,
Right.
he'll point or something, or I'll give like a cat call if that guy's blitzing or something, let him know if he's going in, let the tackle know. So.
How's all that gone? And then there's a lot of nonverbal stuff that is involved in that too.
Yeah.
And that stuff kind of you have to play to.
Yeah, it's kind of one of them things where you just gotta be a football player sometimes.
Okay.
You just gotta know and feel out, and this is one of them things where feel the game out and be a football player really.
Uh-huh.
On top of returns, do you like special teams? You're on coverage teams and return team besides just being the returner.
So
Like
I had no idea how important special teams was before I got here. I didn't play them in high school. I just did punt return in high school, and that was it. Our high school coach really believed that if you played both sides of the ball, you weren't playing special teams, So when I got here, it was kind of a slap in the face a little bit. But once I got playing, I love special teams because, like I said, I played offense and defense in high school, and you can play both ways. It's just hard to play both ways in college, so playing special teams kind of kept me in the game and kept me focused and stuff like that. So, yeah, I love playing special teams.
Use your safety background some when
Oh,
you
yeah.
have to tackle, and does it
100%.
still come back to you?
Yeah, like I said, I was talking to a couple of defensive guys the other day, and we were doing a kickoff coverage. I was like, this is probably my favorite unit just because I don't get to tackle nobody anymore. So I was like, every chance I get to make a tackle, that's always fun.